So we have brand new details and permit filings for the Marvel themed land that's going to be coming to California Adventure. So let's dive into all of that up next. Hi there Waltoneers, I'm Jack and this is of course DSNY Newscast, but this time from Disneyland, and more specifically Disney California Adventure. As for today, we have a pretty great construction update on the Marvel superhero universe that's currently being built here at Disney California Adventure and should be set to debut sometime in 2020. However, Disney has remained relatively silent on any official details of what exactly will be included, as most likely this will be a heavy focus of D23 Expo in August. However, that isn't to say that there isn't plenty of progress being made, as we can see here from these fantastic aerial construction images courtesy of BioReconstruct on Twitter, as we see that the former A Bug's Land area has been levelled and work is well underway on the partial reimagining of the Tough to Be a Bug theatre, which has had the interior completely gutted, leaving just the shell of the building, as there is little point in demolishing an existing show building if it can be repurposed for another attraction. But Disney is also choosing to expand on the current footprint for the new Spider-Man attraction, with it being nearly identical to that of the attraction coming to Disneyland Paris, as can be seen in the public blueprints which were published in France for that show building that will need to be built from scratch. However, as we can see, these attraction blueprints also align with the shape of the newly expanded show building being constructed over in Disney California Adventure. However, moving beyond these great aerial images of the Marvel Land construction, we also have some permit filings that do shed quite a bit of light and insight on what exactly Disney are building just on the other side of these construction walls. Matthew Gotula on Twitter uncovered these permit filings that have been misinterpreted by some mainstream news sources as the budget for the entire Marvel Land, which is definitely not true. But instead these permits are just for the preliminary work on the courtyard area that will be constructed in this space over here, which will consist of a microbrewery and counter service restaurant likely to be themed to that of Pym Technologies from Ant-Man and the Wasp. As the overarching theme of this whole Marvel themed area is that S.H.I.E.L.D., Stark Industries and Pym Technologies have all come together to create a sort of superhero campus within California Adventure, as part of a global initiative to recruit even more Avengers, which of course you the guessed will become a sort of superhero within these new attractions. And then as you're just coming out of the Grizzly Peak area and off Buena Vista Street, just over here, this is where that concept art, that beautiful concept art of the Marvel Land construction or the superhero universe is going to come to life with the Spider-Man attraction. It's going to look absolutely fantastic just here. And you can already see in these construction photos that much of a facade steel framework is forming into the former Stark Industries building. That will be a converted open house for the Worldwide Engineering Brigade, as all of this space will be used for the queue and pre-show areas. But this is where it all gets very interesting, as when staring at these construction photos of the ride's exterior, there is one thing that stands out quite literally, and that is this curious metal beam rigging that towers well above the height of the rest of the show building. And we know that this is definitely not part of the internal structure for the show building, as it even shows up in plain sight in the concept art for this Spider-Man attraction. So this is where we'll have to use some educated guesswork, as back in 2018 there was a particular video that went viral of Walt Disney Imagineering's Stuntronic advanced robotic technology that was accompanied by a TechCrunch article detailing the use case for such autonomous stunt robots within Disney parks. As within the article it was stated by Tony Dohey, who's the principal R&D Imagineer on this project, that they are developing ways to bridge the gap between what audiences see with these characters on the silver screen and then what is expected from these characters within the Disney parks. But this has been a multi-year research and development effort that all started with the Stickman project, and then it was developed into the extremely impressive Stuntronic robots that we can see here. And so Disney have been investing in this technology for quite a while, with an end goal of using it practically at some point in the future. And that very well could be for the Marvel area at DCA, as there are many logical signs that point to this beam being used for the Stuntronics. As first of all, we know that the attraction's internal name that was revealed by the French permit filings is Slingshot. And well, the release mechanism as part of this robotic technology certainly does imitate a type of slingshot. And then we also have the actual beam itself, it also has the word monkey, which probably refers to the code name for this component of the Spider-Man project. And obviously monkey is hinting at the swinging motion that is used within the advanced robotics. And for further reference here, these code names do hint back to actual purposes. As we heard Walt Disney Imagineering state at the Galactic Nights events in May of 2018, that the Millennium Falcon attraction was referred to as Big Bird and the Rise of Resistance attraction as Alcatraz, as Alcatraz had a famous prison escape, and obviously Rise of Resistance is all about escaping from the First Order. However, it must be emphasised at this point that this is only logical deductions from what we already know, and in no way has this Stuntronic technology been confirmed by Disney to be coming to the Marvel project at Disney California Adventure. So for the time being, this remains firmly within the rumour category. But whilst we're talking about rumours, we've exclusively heard here at DSNY Newscast what some of the potential names might be for this Marvel themed area, as straight away Disney cannot use the term Marvel within any of the US Disney parks, as part of a formal name for a land or a promotion, which means that the Disneyland Resort will have to find a suitable alternative that is as synonymous with Marvel as the word Marvel itself. And from what I've been hearing, Disney is leaning towards an alliterative title like the names of Peter Parker, Bruce Banner, Bucky Barnes or Pepper Potts. So here are the rumoured names in contention at the moment, with them being Avengers Avenue, Avengers Alley, Stark Street, along with Avengers Court and Avengers Street. But the thing here is that these might end up being used in combination with an infernal colon, such as Star Wars Galaxy's Edge or Pandora the World of Avatar, with it being rumoured that Disney might use some form of superhero experience or superhero universe as the brand descriptor, followed then by the name of the land. However, it's also been mentioned that the term superhero might be a little bit too generic for Disney's first ever Marvel land, and too close to the use of the Superhero Island name at Universal Studios in Florida, which obviously Disney will want to create a lot of differentiation between their version of a Marvel themed area and the Universal Studios attempt back in the 1990s. But of course we'll probably get the official name for this area at D23 Expo, as Phase 1 of this project is set to debut sometime within 2020. But whilst we're talking about Spider-Man, what better time to talk about Far From Home, that swung its way into theatres this past 4th of July weekend, with the box office already standing at an astounding $613 million worldwide, which puts it on pace to easily gross $1 billion during its total run. But considering the overwhelming response to this sequel, it's maybe easy to understand why Walt Disney Imagineering have chosen to make Spider-Man an integral part of the new Marvel-themed area at Disney California Adventure, as Spider-Man is arguably the best-known superhero character out of all of Marvel history. However, without discussing too much about the movie itself, I have to say that despite it being officially classed by Marvel as the final movie in Phase 3, it does easily light the fuse to ignite the next phase of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And without spoiling anything about the movie at this time, I'll just say this, that I highly recommend staying through to the end credits, as what Marvel Studios has revealed about the overall universe here will have massive implications for every future Marvel movie in the coming years, and sets in motion a massive story thread similar to that of the Infinity Saga. However, we also have some non-Marvel related news as well, as yesterday we received our first teaser trailer for Disney's live-action Mulan, which will be in theatres March 27th, 2020. And I've got to say that this teaser trailer has been excellently edited to create a unique tone that is wholly different to any of the other Disney live-action remakes so far. And perhaps that's because Disney has decided to go in a new direction with this film, by only using the story or narrative, but then removing the musical numbers and the comedy sidekick of Mushu as well, which to me is what made the animated classic such an enjoyable movie. But I'm also intrigued by the realistic tone of this remake, that is true to the Chinese folktale and will surely play extremely well in the Chinese box office market, which is definitely a segment that Disney would like to grow within in the next decade. And lastly for today, over at Walt Disney World, we have our first look at the new fleet of Disney buses that will be rolled out around Disney property throughout the rest of the year, with each bus eventually replacing its white and red design for these colourful permanent wraps of the Sensational Six, which will feature Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Daisy, Goofy and Pluto, which is surely to complement implement the character wraps found on the Disney Skyliner service that will be opening at the beginning of fall. But what's bigger than this are the advancements to the inside, as in addition to the new seats, each seat will also have USB charging sockets to the side. And eventually the buses will also be equipped with onboard Wi-Fi as well. And also at Walt Disney World this week, we saw the grand opening of the Gran Destino Tower over at Coronado Springs. And from what I've seen of this resort and heard from friends who were there, it seems as if this resort will have one of the best views of Walt Disney World, rivaling that of the contemporary resort's incredible view of the Magic Kingdom. But of course, I'll leave links down below in the description box so you can go ahead and check the resort out for yourself. But now, it's over to you Vlogsneers, as I would like to know, what are your thoughts on these names that Disney are rumoured to be considering for this Marvel themed area at Disney California Adventure? And also, I would love to hear your suggestions for what you'd like to see Disney name this new Marvel themed land. And importantly, don't forget to put the timestamp for where the hidden Mickey appeared somewhere within this video along with your suggestion or your comment to be in with a chance to win one of these official DSNY Newscast enamel pins. And congratulations to this Waltner here for winning this suggestion from a previous video where we were talking all about the Star Wars hotel construction going on at Walt Disney World. And so that's it for today, so go ahead and subscribe down below if you're new to this channel. Hit that notification icon so therefore you always receive an update when we release new videos on a Tuesday and a Thursday. And also if you enjoyed this video, which is partially over in Disneyland and also here back in the studio, then give this video a massive thumbs up as it really does help this channel out. And I've been Jack, you've been you, and I'll see you real soon.